Hi everyone, I'd like to talk about social anxiety. Um, when I was much younger, I had a period where I did suffer with social anxiety. I'm not a healthcare professional, etc., etc. I'm just purely somebody who has suffered with social anxiety in the past. Some people might say that it's not curable. I'd like to think personally that I don't suffer with social anxiety now, so hopefully there is help and there is hope. What worked for me when I think back, I didn't. I was very reluctant to go out. Didn't want to go out. When I was out, didn't want to socially interact with anyone. And for me, I was quite fortunate in that I didn't have to. The chance to me socially having to socially interact with somebody was the odds were pretty much manageable. In that I would probably be going straight to a shop and then straight back and socially interact with the person behind the till would be a minimum. And I could pick my times when I was going out to a time when the chance of me having to socially interact with anybody else would be very, very minimal. Um, So yeah, thinking back and apart from the social interaction, my other biggest concern was my health, um, and I'd be very conscious about my breathing more than anything else, and my general health as well. And obviously, social interactions was beyond my control, but what was in my control was my health, because that was my second other biggest concern. So I took up push-ups, sit-ups, and running, and obviously the running I had to do outside. I would pick a time when it was unlikely that I'd bump into anybody. The route that I took was off the beaten track, so it's a question of managing what you can do. And the running I would do on a daily basis to start with. I would probably sprint for 100 meters or just run for 100 meters, anything that I was capable of doing. And as I progressed and became better at what I was doing, I would gradually extend the distance. Um, and I'd always keep something back in reserve as well, so that I was never flat out to start with. Anyway, I always kept it manageable, keeping within what I can do, and that way you keep your mind focused as well. Because if you're reluctant to do something, you're not going to want to do it again. So it's always a question of keeping things back in reserve, and keeping things manageable, keeping the incentive going. That's what worked for me. As for my push-ups, what I started doing was doing one set of 10. I would give myself a 3 minute gap and do another set of 10. Over a period of time, I would gradually reduce the rest time, obviously judging on how strong I was, what I was capable of doing. And again, you always keep things in reserve, so you're never flat out, so that you always have that incentive to do it again. Because if you're reluctant to do something, you're not going to do it. So I say keep something back in reserve, keep things manageable. And for me, my push-ups, I would start doing one set of 10. I'd have a 3 minute gap and do another set of 10, reduce the gap. And then when I was down to about 30 seconds, I would then go from 30 seconds and change that. And then I would do a set of 15, a 3 minute gap, and then a set of 10. And again, over a period of time, just reduce the rest time, and just um, well, for me, I worked it down to about 30 seconds, so 15, 30-second gap, 10, and then I would go from that to 15, a 3-minute gap, and another set of 15, and doing things that way. And again, reduces rest time. Until over a period of time, you're doing 100, and you have a 3-minute gap, and you could be doing, say, a set of 50 after that. And you just keep things manageable. You keep your incentive going because, again, you've always got something in reserve, and the enthusiasm, keeps you in incentive basically, and you're always looking to do more. But again, the main purpose of it was regarding my social anxiety and being conscious of my breathing and my health in general. And the whole purpose of doing this exercise was for that. So over a period of time, my breathing was no longer a problem. My general health was no longer a problem. I'd be making sure that I was getting adequate sleep and regular sleep. So I would say like go to bed at 10 o'clock in the night and be back up, say about 8 o'clock in the morning, making sure I got plenty of sleep, and doing that on a regular basis. I'd be making sure that I'd be having regular meal times and a relatively healthy diet. And regarding my social anxiety, as I say, I keep things manageable. My social interaction, obviously if I'm going to a shop, I know I'm going to have to approach a till at some point and possibly minimal interaction with the person behind the till. But again, just keep things manageable. For me, I'd be focusing on what I can do rather than what I can't do. So say if it's going to a shop, I'd be picking a time when there's going to be less people about, or hopefully nobody about. I'd be straight in, getting what I need, going to the till, minimal social interaction with the person behind the till, and coming straight back. And over a period of time, you'd be becoming more and more confident with what you can do. I'd be a bit more relaxed, and possibly you can start saying, well, okay, I'll go out at a slightly busier time. And just, again, over a period of time, you keep to what you can do, you become more confident, more relaxed, and you don't want to be getting stressed, because if I'm stressed, again, it gives me no incentive to do something. So keep things manageable. So over a period of time, become more confident, a bit more relaxed, and then you can sort of say, okay, I can progress a bit more. And again, with the social interaction with the person by the till, you could discuss pleasantries or the weather, etc., etc. And just keep things manageable. Always, keeping back something in reserve. That's what's worked for me. My main boost of confidence regarding the social anxiety was probably taking up karate. I took up karate in my early 20s. Best thing I ever did. I learnt so much. I only trained for about 6 months, didn't progress any further than white belt, but for confidence, it was a huge boost. If I think back, maybe what might have helped even more, say you think to yourself, okay, well, what can I do? And then you're thinking to yourself, well, okay, why can't I do something? And there could be insecurities there. If you can discuss your insecurities with someone, then they're likely to reassure you. They can look things into it a bit deeper and see things from a different point of view. And reassurance and talking things through gives you confidence, and it boosts your self-esteem. And what wasn't possible before suddenly becomes possible. And if you're, again, doing things, progressing, and then talking through what you've achieved, and again, what you think might be holding you back, again, it helps so much with incentive and motivation. and confidence. So hopefully this has been helpful to you. If it has, please share and please like. Thank you.